biblically, I believe it's the ending of time. For me, that's what
But the thing was about Kobe, COVID was here, but Kobe's death was so big that they put the COVID in the corner of the news feed, and Kobe was so magnified because it was a tragedy that we never expected. But COVID was here because Kobe died, I think, in February, the end of February, maybe like the 24th or something, and we shut down 2 weeks later, March 13th, because it was creeping in. Like, they had COVID at the bottom of the screen, at the corner, like, it was there, but that wasn't what was important. The most important thing is our national treasure person died.
COVID was here before that. Because people were sick that winter before.
Yeah.
Remember? And everybody just kept getting sick. I worked in a care center. We were like in one building. And it's like somebody would have a stuffy nose. Then somebody else have a stuffy nose. And then they would get over. And then somebody else. And then next thing you know, they're coughing. And it's like you could never end it.
They thought it was the flu. At my building,
and they kept saying it was
maybe 50 kindergarten students were absent in 1 week. Before we knew it was COVID, like wiped out. I think if I had it, as during the time of sequence and sip because I was so sick. I wasn't like, I had a bad cough for about 3 months.
Yep. That's crazy. And it took them that long.
That's what I thought it was too, because my friend at the time, Regina, she was sick, and then she said her whole house was sick, but her doctor was saying it was the flu. The same with my dad. My dad had it. He was very sick. Like, he was on the couch. We had disinfect everything, but the doctors were saying the flu, and no one was expecting like, hey, that was COVID. But now a lot of people are like, hey, I had COVID. Like, that was probably COVID that I had that I didn't know, or the doctors didn't think like, oh, you have COVID, you probably have the flu. And now I think a lot of people are now saying like, I don't have COVID, I have the flu. Because my mom did that for me. Like, I was super sick. I had a fever 100.1. I was coughing. I was really bad. My mom had the nasals. So we went and got tested I got tested for COVID, and they tested me for flu. And they both were negative. And I think I just had an extreme, like, this is a regular cold.
So we did do that.
Well, I think everybody should be locked down. I think school should be over. And that is my opinion as a parent. I think we should always hibernate in the winter and everybody be home. Because COVID came in my house and I work from home. I don't go out. I'm home all the time unless, I go out with friends. And I hadn't been out in a long time. So it's kind of like everybody to stay home. Everybody stay home. No school, go virtual. But I do get the discrepancy because they lost a lot when they were out. They're very, very, not very, but they're far behind.
Oh, no, they're very far behind. Because think of it, they were already behind before COVID as far maybe like, now on reading level or writing abilities. So now you add a year and a half of doing nothing, they are far behind, and we can't do anything about it but move them forward. So I feel bad because they're kind of assed out. Sorry, it's sad. Say it again.
I feel like she's behind as a student because she was in school, then she went through COVID, was that junior year, and now it's her senior year. And it's like, it's a gap. Even applying for colleges is a gap.
Being before having COVID hit the middle of my sophomore year, it did take a toll because at first we didn't have our computers and we weren't doing work. So we all were just like at home like, oh, this is a day off. We just gonna chill. Then with getting it, a lot of my teachers slacked. Like my math teacher slacked. I didn't get a lot of my math work. And I'm very far behind math. I still am. And my history teacher, same thing. The only teachers I said that really did the most was my English teacher and my U.S. history teacher, I think I had at the time. And then going into my junior year, because, my junior year, we were online. Being online for me, kind of didn't help because a lot of my teachers didn't help me. So I was really on my own figuring it out like, hey, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I had to take precaution in myself to help my own self out. And then I went back in the building, like, kind of towards the end of my year. I don't know if it was the end or not. I don't remember. But I also had went in and it didn't do anything for me. And I do feel like I'm far behind because now going back in school, I feel, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, it really do feel really far behind for me. I do feel like I'm far behind.
But yeah, I think like for my son, it was amazing because he's very introverted.
Do you guys hear me now?
We can hear you. You were in and out though.
You were telling us about your experience and how you felt left behind.
Yeah, I felt it honestly it was because I had to take it in myself of doing it by myself. And like now going back in the building, I really feel very far behind. And as being a senior, I don't feel like me 100%. I don't feel like I'm a senior on my educational level. I don't feel like I'm a senior at all. I think I'm in the middle of sophomore and junior. Honestly, that's how I feel. Like a sophomore and junior. That's where my level is. That's how I feel it is.
You are not alone. And I'm proud of you that you're able to share that. You are not alone. Let me tell you, there are hundreds of you that are behind. I think even the ones that get it are behind. I think the only thing is, like, if they see it while they're in class right now in the building, they can pick it up quicker. But I feel like in the overall scheme of things, like, all the kids are behind. Like, there's kindergarteners that they would have learned so much, but now they're still like in preschool stages because they were home. Think about them. They are like a blank canvas. It's really sad, but there's nothing you can do unless you're a parent at home and understand the curriculum or understand things that your child should be knowing at that age, and you're helping and you're, feeding your kid every day, like letters for younger kids, because Daya's age, no. What are you gonna do to help Daya learn? What do you think Daya is learning in school that you can implement at home? Nothing. There's honestly nothing you can do unless like Daya is like, you know what, takes the initiative and like, okay, so we were in this module, adding, subtracting fractions, and you do YouTube. When I was at elementary school, the teacher taught with the guy, a bald head guy from YouTube, and she had his video playing, and then we would do the lessons. So unless you take that initiative to help you, there's really no way for you to really catch up. And it's not your fault. It's just the times that we are in. And as an educator, when I step in the building, when I'm in these classrooms, I tell myself, don't get frustrated. You can't be frustrated because it's not their fault. They were already lazy before. Now they're lazy because it's work avoidance. They can't do the work. It's like it's really sad. It's sad. I don't know how, yeah.
So like as a parent, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to prepare her for college. Like she's going to be on her own. It's the same concept of, she's going to college. She'll be, she has to learn on her own. She has to make the initiative. However, the longer we kept doing it, it was like, hello, my daughter's emailing you. Hello, where are you at? Hello, you're not here. And it became a trickle effect. Teachers are not magicians. They're human beings. And look, I work from home, lazy things I do that I would never do at the office. You know what I mean? So let's all be honest. It is extremely difficult. I feel like though And as a parent, it's like you're working from home. You're trying to make sure they're online. You're trying to make sure, get up, and then yet make them feel comfortable because it's a pandemic. And we've been in the house together for God knows how long. However, I do have a child who is introverted. My son is very introverted, and he did miraculous for online. Grades were amazing. He went in, did his work, he was done, and went back to sleep, or went in, did his work, and played his game. So when he went in the building, it was just a little different because now it's like, oh, I gotta go to class. Now I gotta socialize. Now I gotta do these things that I wasn't doing before.
And those are a part of his growth, and those are a part of his social needs that he needs. But so him being home just made him more comfortable of not being comfortable talking with people. And so now he thinks like, I got to go back to school. But being in school and socializing is the normal. Him being home by himself and just doing the work and just being in his room is not. But that's his new normal.
And those are two ways of looking at how hybrid learning or how learning affects two different things.
Okay, guys, so we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys for listening. Please go follow us on Pod in New Haven CT. On Instagram. I'm looking it up. Yes, Pod in New Haven on Instagram. Please go follow us. You can listen to our first episode that we dropped a few weeks ago. That's out. Just click the link in our Instagram bio and it shows you where to follow. And thanks for listening. Thank you, Linnell and Joe, for being a part of our podcast.
No problem. And thank you. Thank you, Dea, for having us. And if you guys want to see, what's coming up with the kids, please go to our IG page, Pod in and HV. And yeah, you can watch this episode. This episode will be linked in our bio, and then you can go on YouTube and you can put in Pod in and HV, and you can get connected.